One of the most important rules smart women follow is learning to value themselves first. This does not mean becoming selfish, arrogant, or believing they are better than others. It means understanding their own worth and refusing to let the opinions of other people determine how they feel about themselves. Smart women know that the foundation of a successful and fulfilling life begins with self-respect. Without it, every relationship becomes unstable, every criticism feels devastating, and every setback becomes harder to overcome. Many people spend years chasing approval. They want everyone to like them, agree with them, and validate their choices. The problem is that no matter how hard you try, you will never gain the approval of everyone. Smart women understand this reality. They do not waste their lives trying to become everything for everyone. Instead, they focus on becoming the best version of themselves. They know that their value is not determined by the number of compliments they receive, the attention they get, or the opinions others hold about them. When a woman truly values herself, she makes different choices. She stops accepting disrespect simply because she fears being alone. She stops lowering her standards just to keep people happy. She stops apologizing for having needs, goals, and boundaries. She understands that respecting herself is not optional. It is necessary. The way she sees herself influences the way others see her as well. Smart women also understand that self-worth is built, not given. It comes from keeping promises to yourself. It comes from doing difficult things even when no one is watching. It comes from developing skills, pursuing goals, and growing through challenges. Every time a woman follows through on her commitments, she strengthens her confidence. Every time she chooses courage over comfort, she reinforces her belief in her own capabilities. Life will always present moments of rejection, criticism, and disappointment. No one escapes these experiences. The difference is how smart women respond to them. They do not interpret every rejection as proof that they are not good enough. They recognize that rejection is often part of growth. A missed opportunity does not define their future. A mistake does not define their identity. They learn from setbacks instead of allowing setbacks to destroy their confidence. Another reason smart women value themselves first is because they understand the danger of comparison. In today's world, it is easy to look at someone else's success, beauty, relationship, or lifestyle and feel inadequate. Social media often creates the illusion that everyone else has a perfect life. Smart women remind themselves that comparisons are rarely fair because they compare their real lives to someone else's highlight reel. Instead of focusing on what others have, they focus on their own progress. They celebrate their achievements and recognize that growth happens at different speeds for different people. Valuing yourself also means speaking kindly to yourself. Many people become their own harshest critics. They forgive others quickly but judge themselves relentlessly. Smart women understand that growth requires honesty, but it also requires compassion. They acknowledge their flaws without allowing those flaws to define them. They treat themselves with the same patience and understanding they would offer a close friend. When a woman knows her worth, she becomes harder to manipulate. She is less likely to tolerate toxic relationships, unfair treatment, or situations that drain her energy. She understands that protecting her peace is not selfish, it is wise. She chooses environments that support her growth rather than constantly pulling her down. The truth is that every great achievement, every healthy relationship, and every meaningful success begins with self-respect. When a woman values herself first, she sends a message to the world about how she expects to be treated. She stands taller, speaks with greater confidence, and makes decisions that align with her values. She no longer lives for approval. She lives with purpose. And that is one of the clearest signs of a truly smart woman. Smart women make decisions with purpose. They understand that the quality of their lives is determined not by luck alone, but by the choices they make every day. While many people allow emotions, pressure, or temporary circumstances to guide their decisions, smart women take a different approach. They think carefully about the consequences of their actions and consider how today's choices will affect tomorrow's opportunities. They know that a single decision may not change a life overnight, but a pattern of wise decisions can completely transform a future. One of the biggest differences between successful women and those who constantly struggle is the ability to think beyond the present moment. Smart women do not focus only on what feels good right now. They consider what will benefit them in the long run. They understand that short-term comfort often comes at the expense of long-term success. Because of this, they are willing to make sacrifices today in order to create a better future. For example, they may choose to spend time learning a new skill instead of wasting hours on distractions. They may save money instead of spending it impulsively. They may walk away from unhealthy relationships even when it is painful because they know staying would cost them more in the future. These decisions are not always easy, but smart women recognize that growth often requires discipline and patience. Another important quality of purposeful decision-making is clarity. Smart women know what matters most to them. They understand their values, priorities, and goals. Because they have a clear sense of direction, they are less likely to be influenced by every opinion, trend, or temptation that comes their way. They do not allow other people to constantly decide what their lives should look like. Instead, they make choices that align with the future they want to create. This does not mean they never make mistakes. Every person makes mistakes. The difference is that smart women learn from them. They do not spend years regretting a poor decision. They take responsibility, gather the lesson, and move forward wiser than before. They understand that failure is not the opposite of success. Often, it is part of the journey towards success. Every setback can teach something valuable if they are willing to learn. Smart women also avoid making major decisions when emotions are running high. They know that anger, fear, excitement, and frustration can cloud judgment. Instead of reacting immediately, they give themselves time to think. They gather information, consider different perspectives, and evaluate possible outcomes. This ability to pause before acting protects them from choices they might later regret. Purposeful decision-making also requires courage. Sometimes the right decision is not the easiest one. Sometimes it means saying no when everyone expects you to say yes. Sometimes it means starting over, taking a risk, or leaving behind something familiar. Smart women understand that fear should not be the leader of their lives. They acknowledge their fears, but they do not allow those fears to make their decisions for them. Another reason smart women make decisions with purpose is because they recognize the value of responsibility. They do not spend their lives blaming circumstances, other people, or bad luck for every challenge they face. Instead, they focus on what they can control. They understand that personal responsibility is empowering because it gives them the ability to influence their own future. The moment a person takes ownership of their choices, they gain the power to create change. They also understand that every choice, no matter how small, contributes to the person they become. Daily habits, routines, conversations, and actions shape character over time. Smart women pay attention to these small decisions because they know that success is often built through consistent effort rather than dramatic moments. In the end, making decisions with purpose is about living intentionally. It is about refusing to drift through life without direction. Smart women choose their actions carefully because they understand that their future is being built one decision at a time. They know that while they cannot control everything that happens to them, they can control how they respond. And that ability to make thoughtful, purposeful choices is one of the greatest strengths a woman can possess. Smart women understand that their time and energy are among the most valuable resources they possess. Unlike money, which can be earned back after it is spent, time can never be recovered. Once a day is gone, it is gone forever. That is why smart women are intentional about where they invest their attention, effort, and emotional energy. They know that protecting these resources is essential if they want to build a successful, peaceful, and meaningful life. Many people spend their days reacting to everything around them. They say yes to every request, get involved in every drama, and allow other people's priorities to become more important than their own. As a result, they often feel exhausted, overwhelmed, and frustrated. Smart women recognize this pattern and refuse to fall into it. They understand that constantly giving their time and energy away without limits eventually leads to burnout. One of the ways they protect themselves is by setting healthy boundaries. Boundaries are not walls designed to keep people out. They are guidelines that help protect personal well-being and maintain healthy relationships. Smart women know that saying no does not make them rude, selfish, or uncaring. It simply means they respect their own limits. They understand that every yes to something unnecessary is often a no to something important. Setting boundaries requires confidence because not everyone will appreciate them. Some people benefit when others have no limits. When a woman begins to protect her time and energy, she may face resistance from those who are used to having unlimited access to her attention. Smart women understand this and remain firm. They know that temporary discomfort is often necessary to create long-term peace. Protecting energy also means being selective about relationships. Smart women pay close attention to the people they allow into their lives. They understand that relationships can either inspire growth or drain motivation. The people they spend the most time with influence their mindset, habits, and outlook on life. Because of this, they choose their circle carefully. They seek relationships built on mutual respect, honesty, and support. They value people who encourage growth, celebrate success, and offer constructive feedback when necessary. At the same time, they are cautious about individuals who constantly create drama, spread negativity, manipulate others, or demand endless emotional labor without giving anything in return. This does not mean smart women expect perfection from the people around them. Everyone has flaws and difficult moments. However, they recognize the difference between someone who occasionally struggles and someone who consistently drains the energy of everyone around them. They understand that protecting their peace sometimes requires creating distance from unhealthy influences. Smart women are also mindful of where they direct their mental attention. They know that not every problem deserves their worry and not every argument deserves their participation. Many people waste enormous amounts of energy stressing about things they cannot control. Smart women focus on what they can influence and learn to let go of what they cannot. This mindset helps them remain calm and productive even during challenging times. Another way they protect their time is by prioritizing what truly matters. They understand that being busy is not the same as being productive. A calendar full of activities does not automatically lead to a meaningful life. Smart women regularly evaluate their commitments and ask themselves whether those commitments align with their goals and values. If something no longer serves a meaningful purpose, they are willing to let it go. They also make time for rest and self-care. Contrary to popular belief, rest is not a sign of weakness or laziness. It is a necessary part of maintaining long-term performance and emotional health. Smart women understand that they cannot continuously pour into others while neglecting themselves. They recognize that taking care of their physical, mental, and emotional well-being allows them to show up more effectively in every area of life. Perhaps most importantly, smart women understand that their attention shapes their future. Whatever receives their focus grows. If they constantly focus on distractions, negativity, and unnecessary obligations, those things will consume their lives. If they focus on growth, purpose, and meaningful goals, those areas will flourish. This awareness helps them make conscious choices about where their energy goes each day. In the end, protecting time and energy is not about withdrawing from the world. It is about engaging with the world wisely. Smart women know that every hour and every ounce of energy matters. They choose carefully where to invest these precious resources because they understand that a fulfilling life is built not by doing everything, but by focusing on what truly deserves their attention. Smart women never stop growing. They understand that life is constantly changing, and the people who continue to learn, adapt, and improve are the ones who thrive. They do not assume that because they have achieved success in one area, there is nothing left to learn. Instead, they approach life with curiosity, humility, and a desire to become better than they were yesterday. They know that growth is not a destination, it is a lifelong journey. One of the reasons smart women continue to grow is because they recognize that knowledge has value. Every skill they learn, every lesson they gain, and every experience they collect becomes an investment in their future. They understand that opportunities often come to those who are prepared. While others may wait for the perfect moment, smart women spend their time preparing for opportunities before they arrive. They read, listen, observe, and ask questions. They are not afraid to admit when they do not know something. In fact, they see ignorance not as a weakness, but as an opportunity to learn. Their confidence does not come from pretending to have all the answers. It comes from knowing they are capable of finding answers and continuing to improve. Another important aspect of growth is the willingness to step outside of comfort zones. Most people naturally prefer familiarity because it feels safe. However, smart women understand that comfort rarely leads to transformation. Growth happens when a person challenges herself to do things she has never done before. Whether it is learning a new skill, pursuing a different career path, speaking up in a difficult conversation, or taking on a new responsibility, smart women know that progress often begins where comfort ends. This does not mean they are fearless. Like everyone else, they experience doubt and uncertainty. The difference is that they do not allow fear to control their decisions. They understand that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking action despite fear. Every time they face a challenge and move forward anyway, they become stronger and more capable. Smart women also understand the importance of learning from failure. Many people view mistakes as evidence that they are not good enough. Smart women see mistakes differently. They recognize that failure is often one of life's greatest teachers. Every setback contains a lesson. Every disappointment offers an opportunity for reflection and improvement. When things go wrong, they do not spend all their energy blaming circumstances or feeling sorry for themselves. Instead, they ask important questions. What can I learn from this experience? What could I do differently next time? How can this challenge help me grow? This mindset allows them to transform obstacles into stepping stones. Growth also requires adaptability. The world changes rapidly. Industries evolve, technology advances, and circumstances shift unexpectedly. Smart women understand that rigid thinking can limit opportunities. They remain open to new ideas and new ways of doing things. They are willing to adjust their approach when necessary because they know that flexibility is often a strength rather than a weakness. Another characteristic of women who never stop growing is self-awareness. They regularly examine their habits, attitudes, and behaviors. They are honest about their strengths, but they are equally honest about areas that need improvement. Rather than becoming defensive when receiving constructive feedback, they consider whether there is something valuable they can learn from it. This commitment to growth affects every area of life. It improves careers because they continue developing new skills. It strengthens relationships because they become better communicators and listeners. It enhances confidence because they know they are constantly improving. Most importantly, it creates a sense of purpose because they are always moving forward rather than standing still. Smart women also understand that growth is not always visible immediately. Just like a tree develops roots beneath the ground before it grows tall, personal growth often happens quietly. There are seasons when progress feels slow and results seem distant. During these moments, they remain patient. They trust the process and continue investing in themselves even when no one else notices. In the end, the smartest women understand a powerful truth. The moment a person stops growing, they stop reaching their full potential. Life rewards those who remain curious, adaptable, and willing to learn. By committing themselves to continuous growth, smart women ensure that they are always becoming stronger, wiser, and better equipped for whatever challenges and opportunities the future may bring.